What is fatty liver disease? Let us define the condition before we go into the details of it. It is a clinico-pathological syndrome. It's a syndrome. A constellation of symptoms and signs is a syndrome, and it is both a clinical and a pathological syndrome encompassing a wide range of fatty changes in the liver known as the fatty liver disease. And if this occurs in the absence of significant alcohol intake, then it is termed as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Suppose it is associated with significant alcohol intake, which means 2 or more drinks per day, then that will be significant alcohol intake, and that becomes an alcoholic fatty liver disease. So, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a clinico-pathological syndrome encompassing a wide range of changes in the liver, which are termed as fatty liver disease, and if it is in the absence of significant alcohol intake, that means 2 or fewer drinks per day, and if all other causes of fatty accumulation in the liver or steatosis are excluded, and such a condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or NAFLD. This non-alcoholic fatty liver includes the following. The first change that occurs in the liver is the deposition of fat, and at that stage it is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Then what happens is inflammatory changes start taking place, and some amount of fibrosis is added on into the liver structure because of the inflammation, and such a stage is called NASH. This is non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. This condition can progress, if unchecked, onto non-alcoholic cirrhosis of liver. Cryptogenic cirrhosis of liver means cirrhosis of liver due to unknown causes. This non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and NASH contribute to 60% of the cryptogenic cirrhosis of liver. Hitherto, many cases are dumped as cryptogenic cirrhosis. Now we know that 60% of the cryptogenic cirrhosis of liver is due to non-alcoholic cirrhosis, and this is due to the forerunners, the NASH and the NAFLD. So, if we pick up a patient in NAFLD, we can prevent the progression to NASH, and we can then, if we pick up here, we can further prevent the progression to non-alcoholic cirrhosis or cryptogenic cirrhosis. These three, remember, are a consequence of obesity and metabolic syndrome. Of course, we have the alcoholic fatty liver disease, ALFLD, where the insult to the liver is directly from the ethanol intake. And we are not going to deal with ALFLD in this particular syndrome, and we will concentrate on these three areas, particularly on NAFLD and on the NASH, and try and prevent the non-alcoholic cirrhosis. And this CME will be mainly for non-alcoholic fatty liver. A few words about alcoholic liver disease or ALD. Alcoholic liver disease again is very similar to non-alcoholic fatty liver. So, starts with the fatty changes in the liver, goes on to alcoholic hepatitis, that will be replaced by fibrosis, and then there will be portal hypertension due to fibrosis. Because the liver is fibrosed, the drainage of the portal system into the liver is obstructed, and that results in increased portal pressure. Portal hypertension causes all the various manifestations of cirrhosis like your ascites, the abdominal veins, the esophageal varices, the portocaval syndromes, and all that. So, look here, this is the normal liver, The man is happily drinking, and to start with he looks healthy. But once the alcohol intake is 2 or more drinks per day over a period of time, then that results in the end stage cirrhosis of liver, and when there will be no more need for drinking and patient will reach almost a dead end. As I told you, we are not going to focus more on ALD in this CME, and we will be dealing mostly with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This slide tells us the increasing importance of NAFLD. Look here, in 1971 there were only 8 papers published, and over the years what happened? 1998 first conference of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease has taken place. Clinical trials have started to look at the interventions to control NAFLD. By 2002, more than 60 papers are published, and the first textbook on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and NASH is published in the year 2004. And by 2005, more than 354 papers are published. Today, we have more than 1000 publications on NAFLD and NASH, because these are the forerunners of cryptogenic cirrhosis. These are the markers of CV risk. The interest is increasing day by day, and that is the reason we are looking at them in this CME. Now, what is the burden of illness of NAFLD and NASH and cryptogenic cirrhosis? Is it a significant problem? These NAFLD and NASH are the most common of all liver disorders and most common causes of abnormal liver enzymes and LFT. Hepatitis C and hepatitis B and other things come next to these things. So, the most common liver abnormalities and liver functional abnormalities are seen because of NAFLD and NASH. These are the most frequent cause of chronic liver disease, also called CLD. These affect about 10 to 24% of general population. Depending on the ethnicity, depending on the geographical location, the prevalence varies anywhere between 10% to 24% of general population. That means if you take 100 people from the road, straight away you can see around 10 to 24% are having NAFLD. Up to 75% of the individuals with obesity and type 2 diabetes have NAFLD. So, if a patient walks in with diabetes mellitus, or if he is obese by the standards of BMI for that region, sure 75% of them are cases of NAFLD. Children are not spared. Children too are affected by this NAFLD. About 3% of children and 50% of obese children are victims of NAFLD. So, this is the extent of the burden of illness of NAFLD, which will progress on to NASH and to cryptogenic cirrhosis. This bar graph in this slide illustrates the increasing prevalence rates of obesity in Asia. Look here, Chinese, Japanese, Malaysians, Philippines, Taiwan, then Thailand and USA. Of course, North America, the population is highly obese. Around 30% of men and around 33 or 35% of women in North America are obese who have a BMI more than 30. Now, this region of the world, the Southeast Asia and the Asian countries, they have also the obesity problem growing very fast, and we are catching up. You may ask me, where is our India? It stands along with one of these countries. Of course, it is not represented here. Here the obesity rates in India or around 20% of the general population.